August at 97 degrees. So I'm telling you, don't forget to fish in the heat. Saugeys don't care if the food's there. Allen Creek, your deeper lakes, Hoover, the same thing. You might have to go out to 6 to 10 or 6 to 12 feet. But find yourself a good flat. And I'll give you an example. I fish it, used to do it all the time. Anybody who fishes Allen Creek, you've heard of Crisco Bay. There's a flat in front of that. If I can get off work in time in mid-August, and I can get over there about 2 to 4 o'clock, I got a buddy who'll go out if he wants to brave the heat. A lot of times I go myself, and I'll go out there and I'll work that flat in that heat with a jig. I might tip it with a crawler, a little piece of crawler. And that's one thing, as I get talking, I got so many things going through my head, because we could talk 6 hours with this. If you want to really up your ante, I don't care what time it is of the year, from the spring through summer, buy a dozen night crawlers, clean them off so they're not all gooey, and keep pinching off just about an 1/8 to 1/4 ounce chunk. Not a big chunk, just enough for flavor. You're going to get some other things touching it, but it will up your percentages of saugeye that you're going to catch. Another thing, a couple old timers at Hoover. I hope they're not here because I'll get beat up. Road runners, they love a road runner. They'll go out for mid-June, as I told you, when these fish start hitting that shallow water, and they'll fish the corners of points and flats and sunken islands, and they'll use a road runner with about an inch chunk of night crawler. And that's all they use. And every day at 11:30, if you know Ying 6, Mike, he sends me a picture, or they send me a picture of their 12 nice 1.5 to 5 pound saugeys, and they'll do that all the way up till about July with just a road runner and a night crawler. So let scent be your friend. It never hurts. Another little tip, you might not think it means anything, but I also love catching crappie while I'm saugeye fishing at Allen. I always keep waxworms on in my boat. Tip a waxworm on it. What's it hurt you, right? Saugeys like that flavor as well. Trust me, it does not hurt. So those are the things and some patterns for summer now. I don't know how much time I have left, but we'll just keep working until they tell me I can't go one more.
10 more.
Okay. We start getting back into that fall pattern. A lot of people ask, where are those fish? Where do they go in the deeper lakes? I'm telling you, go back to them shallows. Stay back and go back into that shallow areas. This time maybe work more the points of the deeper lakes, or some flats that are coming out of deep water with 5 to 6 to 8 foot of water. They're going to start there. The month of October is an awesome month to load up on saugeys in Allen Creek and Hoover. The Indian Lake and Buckeye, it will start then in their own way, and it will continue to do the same thing all the way to ice. Those fish will come to those locations. I don't fish Buckeye, so that's why you're not hearing me say a lot about it. But you guys know where I'm talking about if you're from that way. Just look for the crowds. So real quick, another thing that I like to do, throw my water down there. Let me just put this on here. We'll see if I can get anything with it. I wanted to be able to show you how to fine tune a jerkbait. I can't do it in this water. I need 2 ounces of weight to get this thing to suspend because it's so warm. And plus I had to cut the hooks off. So afterwards, come down here in the corner. If you got questions about tuning the bait, I'll show you how I do it. This is another summer pattern before fall or even into fall. Let's see if I can get this thing to crank. I love pulling that bait down. See how it's rising? Go to your river, go to your lake at night, and take your husky jerk, your floating Rapalas, and throw that thing out. I love doing this in rivers. I know we haven't talked a lot about rivers. You see, I'm ready to cast as far as I could with it. But you want to be able to hit the water. Get it down, pump, and let it rise. I'll let that go until it's just about to hit the surface and pull it down again. On that rise, be ready. Mr. Saugeye, Mr. Smallmouth, and even flatheads will destroy that jerkbait. And I'm talking a hot summer night where you can't sleep, got nothing better to do, and I don't care if there's hardly any flow in your river. If you got spots where you've caught saugeye, go try that technique. You'll have some fun. Now you're using the same jerkbait or suspender in the fall. Again, if you're ever on OGF, we talk highly about the importance of tuning a jerkbait. If it says it's to suspend, I want it to suspend. Where I pull it, I want it to stay there. I'll take one that comes up a little bit slow. I don't like the sinker. So typically, real quick, an important thing, we're now into the colder water time when you're really using a lot of your jerk baits or your bigger swim baits. When I first go somewhere and I'm going to do some evening to night fishing, I'll bring 2 or 3 rods with a couple jerk baits and one with a big swim bait. I'll take the 2 jerk baits, I'll immediately throw them in the water and lay my pole there and let them sit in the water. And I'll throw that swim for 5 minutes. What am I doing? I'm acclimating your bait, this bait, to the temperature of the water. You can go home and do this in your bathtub and cold water all you want. You're going to get it closer, which is good, but you're not going to get it right. I'll take a centerpiece of lead and put it in the middle hook. I like using the little strips that they have. I'll wrap the 3/4 or a whole thing if I need it. After that's been in the water, I'll put that weight on there. I'll put it back in the water. Immediately, it's probably going to sink. But now I can fix it. I always keep fingernail clippers with me. At that point, I start nipping that lead in little corner chunks or slivers. And I'm being honest with you. There's guys that know me have been there. I'm 15 minutes, a half hour, they're fishing. I'm not. Because I want my bait right. Because if you've been a Buckeye or an Indian or anywhere, and somebody's got a right bait in the water, and everybody else is using the same color and they're killing fish, it's because he's got a bait that's sitting right in their face and it's doing what he wants. Now when you get that bait tuned and it's right, it's time then to make your cast. Quickly, I know I'm probably about out of time, but in late October, mid-October, Allen Creek, Buckeye, I don't care where it is, walk your rock areas, causeways, anything that has rock. If you find little bluegills and bait embedded in those rocks, when you shine your light, if it's after dark or get there before, you're in a great spot to start fishing. Start paralleling that shoreline. I caught I'd say late November on a rocky causeway with a husky jerk, no more than a foot from the shoreline in 1.5 feet of water where I could barely pull it down. I caught 37 saugeyes in 3 hours. A lot of them were only 15 to 16 inches, but is that hurting your feelings? You're catching fish, right? All of a sudden, that 15 is a 5-6 pounder. I also love using my swim baits, big swim baits. Just going to show it to you real fast. This is a prototype that Big Joshy has out. I was giving it in September. This bait will be available, or in December actually. This bait will be available hopefully in a couple months. It's real close. First cast, I kid you not, at Allen Creek in December at 11:30 at night on a causeway. I pitched this, I'm not going to do this, it's got a hook, I just forgot about that. I pitched this thing out, and now I'm working more on the edge, with a drop area. It goes from deeper water to a flat that's got 6 to 8 feet on it. I cast this out on the very first cast. I get a 26.5-inch saugeye, and I'm calling Josh. And I'm all excited. It's inhaled this thing. A couple casts later, I get a 15-inch saugeye. And this thing's so far stuffed everything in his mouth, it's crazy. So don't think a small one won't hit a big one. About 20 minutes later, after I calm down from the big one, I make a cast, and I have a 10-pound plus saugeye to the shore. I never bring a net. It's just me. Anybody knows me, that's me. I'm in the water. I got 1.5 feet water, and I got a girl looking at me with this buried in her right on the corner, and she starts going nuts, and she cuts me off with her braid, bellies back, and waves at me with my prototype. So that's just an up-and-coming thing and something to think about. We have Josh makes a 325. Are there other people that have other swim baits that way? Cold water, early spring, late fall till ice. Don't be scared to throw this bait and use it at night a lot. The same with your jerk baits. I know my time's up, so if you have any other questions, I'd love to be able to answer them for you. I'm either be down here for a while, or I'll be at Big Joshy Swimbaits for the rest of the day. I'll be willing to answer any questions you have. I hope I helped feed your addiction. I hope I can start some addictions for some people out there today. Thanks much.